Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media. In tonight's video, I want to go over my 2017 4K collection. Let's get to it. Now I have a lot of 4K titles, so I'm going to just run through these quick, let you know about the transfer, and basically let you know if it's worth a pickup as a movie. So first I got Life of Pi. Now I was a big fan of this movie and the transfer is immaculate. Really good 4K showcase disc for a 2K upscale. Next we got Chappie. This was one of the first 4K discs that really blew me away. I enjoyed the film also. I think you gotta turn your mind off a little for it. But good film, great transfer. X-Men Days of Future Past. Decent transfer. I don't think it's worth the pickup if you already own the film. I think the film is good though, and I enjoy all the X-Men films. Deadpool. Now this is probably my favorite superhero movie, and this is definitely worth the pickup. The transfer is beautiful on this, and the movie is fantastic. I'm sure you've all seen it. Next we got Pineapple Express. Now this was actually in my top 5 list, and this is a really good transfer, surprisingly, along with a really good movie. A movie I could always laugh to. Definitely worth the pickup. Then we got Hancock. Now this is where my regrets start coming in. The transfer on this really isn't too great, and overall the movie really isn't too great. I don't really find myself ever rewatching it. Not worth the pickup. The Martian. I got the extended edition of this, and I actually really love this movie. This was my reference disc really in the beginning. Huge fan of this movie. Now You See Me. Now this is another disappointment. The transfer just really wasn't that good. The movie itself I actually enjoy a lot, but just not recommended for the transfer, although you get it for quite cheap right now. Point Break. Now this is, in my opinion, probably the worst, one of the worst movies ever made. And I like extreme sports. And this was one of the first 4K discs I picked up because I thought, oh, this is going to be a reference. This is going to be so cool to see all these extreme sports scenes in 4K. And no, the movie was garbage. The transfer's even garbage. The colors are like completely different from the Blu-ray. Don't pick this up. I'll actually send this out to anybody that comments. Lucy. Now this is a visual masterpiece. This is reference disc. This is a must-own disc for any 4K owner. And on top of that, a pretty good movie. You got to turn your mind off, but an entertaining movie nonetheless. Sicario. Great movie. Huge fan of this director. Same director as Arrival. Definitely worth the pickup. Fantastic picture quality, and also on sale right now at Best Buy for $15. Everest. Another movie that actually has fantastic picture quality. I picked this up. It's a 2K upscale. Didn't think much of it when picking it up. Threw it in my player, and the HDR blew me away on this guy. Definitely worth the pickup. Really good movie, and kind of brutal to watch when it's so detailed. Next up, we got Ghostbusters 2016 edition. I got a lot of hate in the comments for picking this one up and throwing it on a favorites list, but the transfer I just think is really good. The use of HDR, especially the out-of-frame shots, were really good, and I think this is worth the pickup. Watchmen. This is a decent transfer, I guess, but the problem is with all these Zack Snyder films is the grain is so excessive, and this definitely doesn't resolve it. So I wouldn't really recommend picking this one up, but I do enjoy the movie. Underworld. Now I did a review on this. Garbage movie. In my opinion, garbage transfer. It was maybe good for some nostalgia, but not worth the pickup. Man of Steel. In my opinion, a decent upgrade. Another Zack Snyder film, so that layer of grain is still there. But a much better film and a lot clearer grain, and overall the HDR I feel made some significant improvements on the disc, so I'd say it's worth the pickup. Next we got I Am Legend. Now this was actually a good transfer. The HDR really shined on this transfer, but overall the replayability of this movie I just don't really think is there, and the CGI for some reason just really seems a bit dated, so I kind of would recommend picking this up unless you're a huge fan of the film. The Neon Demon. I had to import this guy, but this movie is fantastic in my opinion, but buyer beware. It's a very weird horror film, art house horror, and the 4K transfer is beautiful. It's probably one of the most beautiful movies I've seen shot, but no HDR on this. Still worth the pickup in my opinion. X-Men Apocalypse. Amazing transfer, great film in the series, definitely worth the pickup. The Magnificent Seven, another fantastic transfer, 2K upscale surprisingly, and very entertaining movie, something you definitely watch a few times. I got also both Star Treks. I bought these in anticipation for Beyond. I actually don't own Beyond in 4K. Big fan of both Star Treks. Really, really like the Star Trek Into Darkness, and the intro scene on this is definitely demo material. Couple. So we got Morgan. Now, I thought this transfer was really good, and I actually really like this movie. I'm a sucker for sci-fi movies with a twist. Definitely worth the pick up. The Shallows. Fantastic transfer. Fantastic movie. Great shark movie. One of the best in a long time. Highly recommended. Next, we got Goodfellas. One of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm sure a lot of you as well. Fantastic transfer. I mean, it doesn't add a ridiculous amount, but it does resolve the grain a bit. It does make the reds a bit punchier for the HDR, and the blacks are a bit inkier, and overall definitely worth the pickup just because this movie is timeless. Fellas, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm sure a lot of you as well. Fantastic transfer. I mean, it doesn't add a ridiculous amount, but it does resolve the grain a bit. It does make the reds a bit punchier for the HDR, and the blacks are a bit inkier, and overall definitely worth the pickup just because this movie is timeless. Next, we got The Town. This is a movie with a pretty good transfer, great use of HDR. If you're a big fan of the movie, I would say it's worth the pickup. I would definitely say it's worth watching if you haven't seen it before. Good crime thriller and good movie overall. Next, another Ben Affleck movie, Argo. This was a fantastic film, 4K digital intermediate. The transfer is great on this one, and the movie, really edge of your seat movie. Great, great movie. Next, Pacific Rim. As we all know, this is reference disc. Even though it's 2K, the HDR really shines on this one, and this is definitely worth the pickup if you have a 4K player with HDR. Next up, we got Sully. Now, this was known as the reference disc when it came out for beating out Revenant, pretty much, I would say. Some people still argue with me, but fantastic transfer. One of my favorite movies of last year. Highly recommended. We got The Accountant. I definitely really enjoyed this movie, not as much as I was kind of anticipating to, and the transfer is a bit bleak. In my opinion, it's not punchy enough for me. I feel like they could have really upped the colors, and they really could have made it a bit brighter. Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Now, this is a movie that really isn't too great. I personally kind of enjoyed it, but everybody else hated it, and I'm going to go with everybody else's opinion at this point, that it was just a boring movie. But the picture quality, this is the new reference disc, guys, so if you're looking to pick up a 4K title, pick this up. It's amazing. Hacksaw Ridge, fantastic war movie, great transfer. Just did a review on this. Definitely check it out. Another one that I just did a review on recently, Arrival, one of my favorite movies of 2016, probably my favorite movie. The transfer is definitely good, but it's very, very dark transfer. It's not bright enough, so you can't really see anything. John Wick, fantastic transfer, 4K. Great entertaining movie and super cheap right now, $15 also. Deepwater Horizon, another favorite on my list. This is a 2K upscale, but looks fantastic. Great video transfer, great true story, and just a great film overall. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I know people asked in the past for videos like this, so let me know if you want any more like this as I update my collection, and let me know if you're looking for any 4K disc in particular. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Throw me a thumbs up if you like this video at all, and subscribe down below for more content in the future. Have a good night, guys. Hit me with your